All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a pair of fight announcements out of Bellator. First up, she's back. Valerie Loureda has a fight booked. She's going to be taking on Taylor Turner at Bellator 271, Cyborg versus Kavanaugh, on November 12th in Hollywood, Florida. So that event is the one headlined by Chris Cyborg taking on Sinead Kavanaugh for the Women's Featherweight Championship. But let's get into Loureda versus Turner. So you might remember Turner. She's fought for Bellator a couple times before. You may or may not remember, but she is a Bellator veteran. I think this fight's going to be could be a little bit surprising to people. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. So Master Loureda coming in at 3-1, Turner coming in at 5-7. Now Loureda, of course, coming off the loss to Hannah Guy 5 months ago in Bellator. Taylor Turner recently captured a win in Valor fights a little over a month ago. Before that, she had dropped 2 straight. Turner the elder by 15 years. She's 38 to Loureda's 23. Here's where things get interesting. Height, 5'10", 178 centimeters for Turner, 5'4", 163 centimeters for Loureda. And there is a reach to match as well. 71 inches, 180 centimeters to 64 inches, 163 centimeters for Loureda. So that is a big height and reach advantage for Taylor Turner. Could mean some things in this fight. So you look at Taylor Turner's record, you see that it is upside down. She has more losses than wins. So you think, oh, this is meant to be a build-back fight for Loureda because she's coming off of that, that decision loss to Hannah Guy in her last one. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't underestimate Taylor Turner in this one. I wouldn't, because she was supposed to be a win, a fairly easy win for Heather Hardy, a little over 2 years ago. And she came in and beat her in, I believe, the first round. Let me see. Yep, beat Heather Hardy in the first round via ground and pound. Took her down and pounded her out. Now, how did Hannah Guy beat Valerie Loureda? On the ground. On the ground. So, Heather Hardy didn't have much of a ground game. We've seen Loureda. She doesn't have exactly much of a ground game either. So, I'm definitely not going to underestimate Taylor Turner in this one. Am I saying that she'll win? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to make a pronouncement just quite yet. Because let's be honest here. When Loureda chooses to fight smart, she's not bad of a fighter. She's not a great fighter yet, but she's not a bad fighter either. And she does pack some wallop in her strikes. So if Loureda chooses to fight smart this time, listen to her coaches, and, fights to her strengths, fights to her ability, she can get this, this layup, what's supposed to be a layup fight, a bounce back fight for her. But if she doesn't fight smart, she doesn't use her brain, she doesn't listen to her coaches, Taylor Turner's going to put her in for a long night. A long night. Or it could be a short night too. Because Taylor Turner, she's a bit of a finisher as well. So, either way, should make for an interesting fight. Taylor Turner, by the way, fights out of Knoxville Martial Arts Academy. Trains alongside Emily King, who, I've had on the channel before for an interview. So, going to be keeping an eye on this KMMA fighter against the young, still somewhat of a prospect, Valerie Loureda. Also scheduled for that fight card is another flyweight bout. Bruno Ellen taking on Desiree Dirty Des Yanez. If you're familiar with these two fighters, I think you know what we're in for. Should be a fun scrap, because these two are scrappy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. Ellen coming in at 5-3. Yanez identical record, 5-3. Both ladies coming in off of losses. Ellen to Juliana Velasquez a year and 10 months ago, coming in on 2 years that she's been out. Had a win before that over Elena Calianado. Yanez losing 2 straight here. Lost in her Bellator debut to Vita Ortega 6 months ago. Before that, a split decision loss to Melissa Martinez back in Combate. Yanez, the elder fighter, 31-25. Much similar in size compared to the previous bout. 5'4", 163 centimeters to Yanez over Ellen's 5'3", 160 centimeters. No reach available on Tapology for Bruno Ellen for some reason. Yanez has a listed reach of 64.5 inches, 164 centimeters. So like I said, this should be a fun scrap. Both of these ladies like to come in and throw. They're very scrappy fighters. They're not quitters. They're determined fighters. They actually share an opponent in Vita Ortega. Now Yanez lost to her via majority decision. Bruno Ellen holds a split decision victory over Ortega. That was way back 4 years ago. So Yanez, the more recently active of the two, but I think they're about the same size. These two, I look at them and they're really more of strawweights. That's what Yanez was fighting at before, she came to Bellator. So, like I said, should just be a fun, entertaining, scrappy bout that I'm looking forward to. I like watching both of these two fight. So anyway, those are my initial thoughts on these two Bellator fight announcements. Master Valerie Loureda taking on Taylor Turner, and Bruno Ellen taking on Dirty Dez. Let me know your thoughts on the announcements in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMAC Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.